This is a stimulus and Social Security update. Got some important updates to share with you. A new bill has just been introduced by McCarthy and the Republicans about the debt ceiling. I'll let you know how this affects your Social Security as President Biden and Speaker McCarthy are going tit for tat over the debt ceiling that seems to be going almost nowhere. Also, there's $500 checks going out to certain Americans, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Thursday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more daily, straight to the point updates on matters that financially matter to you. So, Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan says inflation signs are tipping down, but there's still a mild recession headed for the U.S. economy. So we keep hearing this. We've been hearing this for, I think, over a year now, that a recession, a big recession is coming. What he's saying here is everything points to a relatively mild recession, given the amount of stimulus that was paid to people and the money they have left over. Looks like inflation going down, but there could still be a recession. Not really sure. I'll keep you updated on that, though. When it comes to stimulus, $500 tax rebate checks from New Mexico to go out in mid-June. So those checks of $500, $500 from Governor Grisham announced that the state would start sending $500 rebate checks from New Mexico in mid-June, distributing more than $673 million to eligible taxpayers. $500 for singles, $1,000 for couples. Then also, moving on, a little slow here, Biden McCarthy escalate tit for tat over debt ceiling deal. So when it comes to the debt ceiling, we've been hearing about this for a long time, and almost no action has been taken except for a bunch of political jabs here and there. So what's going on with that is Biden will threaten Social Security and Medicare and bumble into the first default in our nation's history if he doesn't negotiate raising the debt ceiling with Republicans, Kevin McCarthy says. So House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said a debt ceiling vote will come in weeks in Monday remarks, and McCarthy said if Biden doesn't come to an agreement with the GOP, it could lead to the first default, and Republicans want to attach spending cuts to a debt ceiling package while Biden wants a clean raise. So this new bill has been introduced. I'll let you know what's going on in a moment. But speaking of the tit for tat between the Republicans and President Biden, new news here, Supreme Court declined to block $6 billion student loan settlement. Here's who qualifies for forgiveness. So U.S. Department of Education can proceed in delivering $6 billion in student loan forgiveness to defrauded students after Supreme Court's decision. Eligible borrowers include those who filed a borrower defense application before June 22nd, 2022, and attended one of 151 schools. So this isn't the big student loan forgiveness, but that big student loan forgiveness that's going to forgive $10,000 or even $20,000 for all Americans with, who meet the qualifications, that is also in this big plan that McCarthy unveils. So McCarthy unveils debt ceiling bill that aims to cut big parts of Biden's agenda. So House Speaker Kevin McCarthy introduced his proposal for a temporary debt ceiling increase. He tied a potential increase to several spending cuts targeting President Biden's agenda. It's not clear whether McCarthy has votes within the GOP caucus to pass the bill. So one of the things that McCarthy put in there is no student loan forgiveness. So McCarthy and the Republicans want to block student loan forgiveness as part of the debt ceiling bill and as part of the negotiation, which is still something that President Biden wants to do, which is student loan forgiveness. Republicans don't want to do that. So now, rather than just the debt ceiling, whether it's going to raise or not, there's a lot of other political stuff being thrown in the mix, which means it's going to make things a lot more complicated. Take a look at what Kevin McCarthy has to say about it.
This is one of those interesting moments where we're having a discussion about the issue and the players, and we just happen to have House Speaker McCarthy here.
Where did you come from?
Just walking on the floor. I thought I'd stop by.
Welcome. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
What is your message upstairs? What was your message? And how do you think markets should be responding to it right now?
Well, look, 75 days ago, February 1st, I sat down with this president. And I sat down to him and I said, let's work together to be able to deal with the debt ceiling and our economy at the same time. It's the same thing that we've done all in the past, as you've mentioned. And for 75 days, he's ignored us. I want us to find a responsible, sensible way to do this. My message upstairs is if the president won't pay attention to this, if he doesn't believe that he can find $1 in savings, Republicans in the next couple weeks will act and send a debt ceiling increase that will limit, save, and grow, that will help us on economics, growth in this country, will cap spending in the future, will pull back, claw back the money we appropriated for COVID but had sat dormant for 2 years. If it was appropriated to help you during COVID and you haven't spent it, it shouldn't be spent afterwards. So find the ways we can save the taxpayer money, find a way that we can grow this economy to become less dependent upon China, curve our spending in the future so we can curve inflation to help every family. And I think that's sensible and responsible. And we'd move the debt ceiling into the next year. If the president doesn't want to take action, we'll send this over to the Senate.
But there's an appropriations committee and a budget for all of this. The fiscal year ends at the end of September. Why not deal with spending cuts and negotiate with the president there? Why negotiate over the debt ceiling, which is much more dangerous?
It's not dangerous at all, especially when you sit down on February 1st. And remember, the budget is different than a debt ceiling. A budget resolution is not like in a state capitol. The budget never even goes to the president. So for the president to say do a budget, that makes no sense. What you want to do is sit down with a debt ceiling, just as America has done. Watch. When President Biden was a senator, 4 times he voted to increase the debt ceiling only if it included fiscal changes. The times he voted against the debt ceiling is because he said there wasn't enough fiscal economic change. And think about it. A debt ceiling is like giving your child a credit card, and they charge the limit all the way up. Would you just raise the limit? No, you would sit down.
Well, if it meant playing with America's standing at full faith and credit of U.S. government debt, I feel like you can deal with the spending in other ways, which is totally legitimate.
So if you just raise the debt ceiling, do you think $31 trillion of debt? The CBO has come out in the next 10 years. Do you know we'll pay 10.5?
You did it 3 times in the Trump administration.
As we did economic changes. We never raised the debt ceiling by itself.
But the tax cuts, that was like $2 trillion deficit.
And you know how much we're bringing in revenue? On average, in the 50-year average in America, you bring 17% of GDP. Today, we're bringing 20. That's the only 2 other times in modern history in America have you ever brought 20% of GDP.
What are your thoughts there? Let me know your thoughts on that. Should there be other political issues tied to the debt ceiling? Should it be raised? Should it be somehow renegotiated? Should there be no debt ceiling? Let me know your thoughts on that. And that is all the news that I have for you today. To hopefully brighten your day a bit, here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, so my name is Bella. This is the tip of the day. If you make a mistake, then it's okay. You learn from your mistake, it makes you a better person. So it's okay. It's okay. We still love you. We like you a lot. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. If you like how I got straight to the point, let you know the facts, no rambling, no fluff, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to check out any of my other videos, you could click right up here. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.